Weekend at Gabe's. It's Friday night. We got a big show lined up tonight. Hopefully, everyone's having a good night and having a drink or an adult beverage with you to, keep you nice and cozy. It's supposed to snow crazy here in Chicago tomorrow, so it's going to be a really crazy weekend of snow. And today or tomorrow actually marks the 1-year anniversary of the 10-year anniversary of the snowpocalypse that we Chicagoans experienced. And if you don't know about this, look it up. People were stranded on Lakeshore Drive. People were stuck in their cars. People were stuck on buses. Tomorrow, I think, is the 1-year anniversary of that fuckery. So, just it only makes sense that it would snow tomorrow and, give a good opportunity for the kids to go sledding. But either way. So we got a big show coming up. We're going to be talking with entrepreneur, MC, Wall Street mastermind. He can do taxes and your portfolio, I suppose, too, but he is everything and anything. And he's also a friend of the show. Ross Mack is going to be joining us to talk about the big story that happened in the last week with GameStop, which I'm pretty sure you're tired of hearing about, but I'm not tired of talking about. And then at 8 o'clock, we're going to be talking with Tribble. She was the former daytime host over at Vocalo. Shout out to Vocalo. And she is going to check in with us. She's a comedian, podcaster, producer, entertainer, everything in between. We're just going to check out and have some laughs. And then at 8:30, we're going to be checking in with Rashid Hadi, Simeon Viltz, Race Bannon, also known as Prime Diesel. They have a new album out that just dropped at the beginning of the year. We're going to be talking a little bit about that and just have a little bit of fun in between time. We're just going to jump over because Ross has a infant that demands his father's attention, and we don't want to hold that up. Good evening, Ross Mack. How are you tonight?
My brother, Weekend Gabe. How you living, man?
I'm good, man. It's good to see you. It's been a long time. I haven't seen you in over a year. I mean, when I was still at Loyola and you came through.
It's been quite some time.
I know. Well, you've had some additions to your life. Congratulations with the baby. It's a boy, right?
No, I have a baby girl.
Oh, wow. So
her name is Rossi Reese.
So you're a girl dad now. So you can wear the cool sweaters.
when you first have a girl, you start thinking like, okay, who all other dope had girls first? And it's like, all right, yeah, Barack, the late great Kobe. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
Keep going, but
I'm a little bit jealous when I see like fathers wearing like their girl dads hoodies and shirts.
Yeah.
And I was like, silly on me with 2 boys,
Hey, you gotta go for a third one, man.
I don't need you and my wife throwing that stuff around. Let's just enjoy. It's like after winning the chip. You don't go like, yo, we're gonna repeat. Like, let's just enjoy the moment. Like we don't need.
How old are they?
The oldest, I think you've met. He's 11 now, and
okay.
the youngest he's 20. I think 20 or 19 months or 20 months.
Oh, okay. He's still in the game.
Yeah, he doesn't talk. Yeah, he doesn't talk, but he moves around and he understands everything, but he's just not speaking yet. So he'll get there. He'll get there.
It's gonna be awesome, man. I'm happy.
Good. Well, good, man. I'm glad you were able to join. I'm glad you're able to give us some of your time. I know you've been offering a lot of your expertise in the financial world and trying to provide financial literacy for everyone. So I think you're a perfect person to talk about what happened this week. So for us non-stock, like people like myself who don't do stock, but I've seen it from a distance and I've seen The Big Short many a times and learned that the stock market, depending on how you feel about it, is kind of rigged or slanted to favor some or more than others. You may have an opinion about that, but this week, a group of investors were able to tilt the financial world on its head by raising the value of GameStop stock, which would then put the hedge firms who had bet that the stock would go down, which would then cause this catastrophic loss. Somewhere, but the number out there floating is like $12-13 billion. I don't know if that's the number you heard.
It can be there. It's probably getting larger and larger.
So
Um,
so the damage is still ongoing. It's not like it's done.
yeah, it's still going because the stock is still going and they're still short.
That's crazy.
So what's happening is you had one hedge fund called Melvin Capital. They
Right.
effectively were betting that GameStop would probably go zero, so they were short the stock. In order to be short, you're like you say, you're betting that the stock goes down, and in order to do that, they have to effectively call their bank. Their bank is called a prime broker. But what they do is they say, "Hey, bank, I believe that Blockbuster. I'm sorry, that was another company that was caught up in the mix of this randomly.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
believe that GameStop is going to go down, so I want to sell. I want to short it. And what that bank does is they say, okay, cool, I'll loan you the shares. So what ended up happening, they loaned Melvin Capital the shares, and the moment they loan them, they instantly sell them to someone else who buys it. So what they believe is that, okay, the stock goes down. It was like maybe say $17. They believe if the stock goes down all the way to $10 to $5, what they do is they go buy that at $5. They return the shares, and they now are keeping that difference, right? They borrowed at 17, they bought it back at 5, they got a $12 profit, right?
Right.
What ended up happening is that the moment that this Reddit channel got onto the trade, they found that it was in too many people betting against this company, right? GameStop. And so what they did was they're like, yo, let's all just buy it, right? If everyone buys it, that caused the price to go so high that the bank is then now calling the hedge funds, calling Melvin Capital, saying, yo, I know that you borrowed these shares, but hey, the price is so much more expensive. You're going to now have to put up more money, right? In other words, it's like collateral, right? In other words, because it's a margin, it's the correct terminology is a margin call. So that means you're going to be required to give me more money because you borrowed something that was at $17 and you were expecting to buy it back at 10. Now that 17 is 100. Now it's 200, 300. And what ended up happening is because they have that margin call, they have to put up more capital. It's like, you know what, let me just close out short. And so they call that as the short squeeze. And so the short squeeze is like, you know, Melvin Capital, like, fuck, you know what I mean? I'm losing a ton of money. Let me go out and let me buy GameStop. So a short squeeze is when not only do you have a Reddit channel, people buying it, you know, just saying, hey, we're buying GameStop, no one ever sell. You now have the hedge funds also having to buy it because they have to cover their shorts. In other words, remember, they borrowed the shares, they have to buy it to now pay the people back. So what ended up happening, squeeze is that now not only are Reddit people buying it, you got the hedge fund people buying it. So the price continues to go higher because anything's high demand. Yeah. So that's what the short squeeze is. So when you have it, not only do Reddit channel people buy it, but you also have the hedge fund people buying it.
That is an incredible, like, and from what I was reading is that Melvin Capital, that there was a public filing that kind of laid out the blueprint of what they were doing. Mm-hmm. And the Reddit folks had gotten a hold of it. So they knew what their game plan was, and they were able to counter the moves that Melvin was doing, which then kind of set in motion this chain of events. For someone who's been in the field for a while, like, is this something new that's being done, or has this been done previously, but just maybe not at this scale, or with this deliberate attempt to harm?
This happens all the time, right? This is no different than knowing that there's a business going out of. Suppose there's another hedge fund going out of business. If another hedge fund knew all of the stocks that they held, they knew that in order for them to go out of business, they have to liquidate. They have to sell everything in order to, you know, return the money back to their shareholders, right? Or I'm sorry, their investors, right? The people that invested in this hedge fund, right? And, you know, the investors are like pension funds or whatnot. If they say, yo, I want all my money back, that means the hedge fund now has to go sell everything that they own. And therefore, other hedge funds would use that knowledge to say, oh, well, I'm going to just, you know, you want to, you know, oh, you selling a lot of this? Well, I'll pay you, but I'm going to pay you way less than what the market is really going to give you, right? Suppose it's really worth $100, but you want to sell it and you have to sell it. I know you have to sell it. That's the thing. Because I know you have to sell it, I'll give you $50 for it. That's how it works. Like, oh, you have to sell it? Oh, I'll give you $50. And that's how, they can, do certain stuff like that. But that being said, this has been happening since the beginning of time. But I tell you the crazy thing, though, this, yesterday, what ended up having, all of, social media kind of up in arms with the fact that Melvin Capital, they had to be bailed out, right? So I'm sure you saw that in the papers. They had to be bailed out like $2.5 billion, right?
Right.
So here's where it gets funny and tricky. It's the firm that bailed them out, that being Citadel. That firm had effectively been a very big client of Robinhood. So it's a triangle. So here's the thing. This is how Robinhood got pulled into it. So what the Reddit, the storyboard on Reddit, Wall Street Bets, effectively all the people were placing their trades through Robinhood. That's kind of what has been synonymous. People that invest on Robinhood, which has had the largest amount of downloads. Those people have been synonymous kind of with Wall Street Bets, the Reddit channel, because that's kind of like the retail guy, the small guy, right? And so they, for the most part, have been, the young millennials have been on Robinhood. So what ended up happening is, because Melvin Capital was effectively getting ready to go out of business because this short was causing so much loss for them, right? So much loss on their books, they needed to get bailed out. The person that bailed them out is Citadel, who also happens to, be a very big client of Robinhood. So when you think about it, Robinhood, you can go in there and trade for free. Anytime you're on a platform and everything is for free, you are the product. They're selling your data, right? And so that's effectively what Robinhood does. They sell like your order flow to Citadel. So this is what got tricky yesterday. Robinhood made it so that all of these names that all of the Wall Street Bets people, the people on Reddit, all of the bets that they were effectively, these were poor companies, and a lot of firms were shorting it. A lot of firms on Wall Street bet against companies because they were like, oh, this company's, they're losing Amazon, they're losing Target, they're losing they haven't adapted to Netflix, right? Blockbuster was in, or BlackBerry, Apple, Nokia, obviously, Apple, right? So AMC, oh, we're at home, Netflix, right? And so because that happened, all of those people from the Reddit were buying stock on Robinhood. So what ended up happening was that Robinhood made all those names that people were buying, that all the hedge funds were losing out on, because the price was steady going up, right? Going up 100%, 200%, 300%, like a shit ton, right? Could start at $5, you end up it's at $100, like crazy amount going up, right? Robinhood made it so that everybody on their platform could no longer buy those stocks.
Right.
So because that happened, the prices went down 50, 60% yesterday. And so because that happened, that's when Congress got involved, right? You had AOC, Ted Cruz, you had people coming out saying, that's stock manipulation, right? Because once again, we're talking supply demand. If there's no longer demand by pure, like there was demand, but there literally could not be fulfilled. Meaning, like all of us want to go buy Jordans, but since the plant of Jordan is shut down, now everybody got street value Jordans. The price goes higher, right? That's the reverse. Now here, because no one could buy, because no one could buy the stock had to plummet. Because now, people getting scared. You can't buy, but you can sell. That's what Robinhood told them. I'm sorry, I should have said that earlier. Robinhood made it so that you couldn't buy, but you could only sell. That's what I should have said earlier. I want to backtrack that. So because Robinhood made it so that you could only sell and not buy, the price went down. Because if you could only do one thing, sell, remember, it's the same thing we were just talking about, right? If you could only sell something and you can't buy it, that means the price has to go down. Oh, you want to sell me this now? Now that I know no one else can actually buy it, oh yeah, I'll pay you 20% cheaper. I'll pay you 30% cheaper, 50% cheaper. And that's what ended up happening yesterday. So a lot of people who had made money the day before, like this entire past 2 weeks, on Nokia, AMC, Bed Bath & Beyond, GameStop, all the people that were making money, all those stocks went down 50, 40, 60% yesterday. And so today, what made it a big thing, it was in the news, saying they're going to have to go before Congress, is because, when you make it so that the stock can only go one way, the stock could only go back down because no one else could buy it realistically.
So the Robinhood was essentially, and they weren't the only one. It was TD Trade as well, right?
Yeah, Trade. It might have been a few more, but what put Robinhood at the forefront is that they were a client, right? Or their biggest client happened to have been wanting to go short. Right. So their biggest client benefited by the stock going back down, theoretically.
Yeah. So that puts them in a conflict, which also, I don't know if the legality of any agency or organization prohibiting someone from selling or buying something that they own, that definitely compromises. And I think that's what Alexandria or Cortez, I would just call it AOC. Anyways, that's AOC. What she was. That's what she was essentially mentioning. He's like, why are you stopping people from selling or buying something that's available? It's like, this is the whole point of a free market, is to do it as
so strategically. Like, that's what a lot of the conspiracy theorists are saying. Like, well, they manipulated the market. Because think about it. If no one else can buy, you can only sell. Price has to go down, and what we saw, the price went down 60% on some names, 50% on others, 40%, and that's what caused a lot of people to end up in arms.
I mean, but if you're what do you think as far as like the fairness factor of that goes? If you're someone who who was up 300-400% yesterday, and you're forced to take a loss, or you're forced to sell when you're not ready to sell. Like, that doesn't seem very fair for someone who's like, and then but then also remind us, Mac, was that the capital firms were able to still buy and sell with those options to do either or, but regular just traders were limited to what their options were. I'm not a financial expert, but that doesn't seem right.
No, exactly. That's the thing. So the little guy had their hand tied behind them, where now the big guy was effectively able to put on shorts. They were able to re-short it, right? They were able to bet against it again and profit because it went down at the expense of the little guys. And think about it, the little guys were in there. They're making a lot of money, and now they're saying all the money they made go down. They probably panic and they're selling. And as they're selling, the big guys are profiting now. It's just in reverse. And so it was a very interesting dynamic. It was, something that they'll probably write a movie about. It's gonna be dope.
But well, for someone like myself who's fascinated by the idea of how this works, and I still don't know what the levers are, and I understand what we're talking about today, and even when people try to explain what a short squeeze is, or a short, or how to bet against or for a stock, how it goes, I kind of understand the linguistics of how it's designed, but I'm pretty sure there's so much more in depth to it. But does this create the illusion that that stock trading is not on the up and up, that there are internal devices that will more support people who have billions of dollars invested versus the person who's dumping $10,000 in, hoping to make it quick?
I think this is the first time that the small guy outsmarted the big guys, and I think that. And to be clear, I was talking with a buddy, and because you're talking about Reddit and everyone's effectively anonymous, it's not far-fetched for some larger firms to other hedge funds to also have profited major. I saw that BlackRock may have profited like $2.6 billion. I just saw it on social media, so I'm not certain. But that being said, it could have been wolf in sheep's clothing. So, but technically speaking, this, was in disguise as the first time, smaller guys from a chat room outsmarted some pretty smarter, larger guys.
Is that a good or bad thing that happened?
It's legit. It's a free market. Nothing wrong with it.
But I mean,
it was something wrong, right? The reality is, so what truly happened was the fact that the way they saw that this trade would work is because GameStop. Imagine you have 100 shares, right? Obviously, they had millions of shares, but just imagine for the simple fact of math that GameStop has only 100 shares throughout the entire world. So the way it works is I'm going to give you my digital, shares, yada, yada. Well, they were effectively able to borrow and short 140 shares. So they literally had a short interest of 140%. So they only had 100 shares in totality. They were able to effectively sell 140 shares to someone else when there's only a supply of 100. You get
Got it. Yeah.
So that's the weirdest thing. Like, because they were able to see that actual technical flaw, trade was a genius trade. And therefore, to say they outsmarted, they were like legitimately smarter with something, because the hedge funds were able to use just implied leverage. It's almost like we have a plot of land and I built two apartment buildings on one plot of land. Therefore, 2 apartment buildings truly can't fit on this plot of land. But I sold all the homes to everyone. Or better yet, I'll tell you exactly what it is, but that might make sense. Imagine you have 100 seats in a concert, and you sell 140 tickets, right, for this one thing. That won't work. Well, this is what happened, and so it was kind of like a rush now to try to cover it, but it's so much that it's still like 112%, and that's like called short interest, but it's hard to explain. But like it's kind of weird. They shouldn't have been able to do that.
Yeah. What about GameStop as a company? Like, are they just kind of like a third party in this? Like, it's just their name being
GameStop is just
traded on. Business model itself.
GameStop is just in the right place, right time, right? Obviously, they were the company that they were betting against. And what ended up happening was they hired a guy from Chewy's board, and they added him to his board, and it was kind of good for the company, but not this good, right? The idea they're going to try to turn the company around, but the company was losing a lot of money. They was shutting down stores, and so GameStop just really happened to benefit, because now they can raise more capital. They can have another second life.
Because it just sort of this moment where they were just happened to be chosen, did or didn't do. They just were chosen and to be part of the story.
Well, yeah, their company was the one that the most everyone out of all the companies in the world, Wall Street as a collective thought this was the worst company.
That they would fall at some point, because
they had the highest percentage of shorts, meaning the highest percentage of people betting against your company. So they had that highest amount, 140% short interest. Other companies that have like 20%, 30%, and that might just be for like hedging. You had literally 140%, saying, all right, we're betting against this.
Because their business model is, let's say, it's antiquated. It's like no one goes to the store and buys video games.
They're losing money, losing market share constant. Right? You can buy games. I don't play games, but you can buy a video game online now. You don't have to leave the crib, right?
Yeah, you just download it. I mean, I've been in the stores, but more for Pop Funko. They always had the best Pop Funkos, but rarely to buy games though. But to buy other just sort of like stuff that's related to games or merchandise, but never for games.
I know that was a lot, very complicated. So to anybody watching, I have all this stuff on YouTube. I did 2 videos on this. One, what happened, how did GameStop stock go from $17 to $400? And then the other video is how Robinhood effectively manipulated the market. So that way you can really see pictures and truly understand what I'm saying, because obviously I went pretty quick because I can't run. Life, man.
Well, I mean that was the short synopsis, but I think it's a lot to digest. But yeah, I'm curious to see whether now that this has triggered a congressional hearing, hopefully that we'll learn more about this. I'm pretty sure everyone's eyes is on how this is going to unfold. Ross,
Congress for sure.
Yeah, Ross, man, thank you so much for giving us your time here on this Friday night. I know it's short notice. I appreciate it. Are you all right? What's up with the music, real quick? Are you working on anything?
Yeah, man. New single out, Billions. New,
Of course, it's
new
related to
video
money. Why wouldn't it be?
Billions. So another, anthem. Definitely follow me at I'm Raw Smack.
Yeah.
I have a second season coming out with Revolt TV. So more Maconomics. I make financial literacy content as well. New music, new financial literacy content. Follow the YouTube. I have a investment club. So if you're interested at all, when it comes to actually learning how to invest, so you're not on the outside looking in, definitely join the investment club. Shoot me a
Sounds
text.
like you're talking to me, Ross.
Yeah. Hey, anybody shoot me a DM, or I got a text 773-232-2577. Yeah, it's lit, but I gotta run. I love you, man. Much love. Stay safe out here. Stay dry. Stay warm. You know what I mean? The kids are coming this weekend.
Yeah. Well, man, thank you so much. We'll definitely have you back to talk about some music and some more funner, lighter subject matter. But I appreciate you as always, man. And enjoy the rest of your evening.
My man. Take care, bro.
All right. That was Ross Mack here on Weekend at Gabe's. We're expecting Tribble to join us in a few minutes. We're just gonna hang out for a bit and do a little what's in the news. If you haven't seen, or news that only Gabe cares about, if you haven't seen yet, the story that came out yesterday about Wendy Williams telling the story of her and Method Man having a moment at some point in his career. No one really knows yet where exactly this took place. But either way, I think all of us are disappointed that this story is getting some legs and people are talking about it, like myself. And I'm not a fan of. Listen, Method Man already dissed Wendy Williams a long time ago when she discussed a personal matter within his family. So I just can't imagine that Method Man would take such leaps and bounds to be with such a not very honest woman. to be perfectly frank about it. So I don't know if it's true or not. I'm sure it's gonna pop up some point. Method Man's gonna address it, but I don't think it's gonna be all fun and games. But it's just truly just a trash super story. And then what else? Oh, the carjackings that are taking place here in Chicago is absolutely just ridiculous. We definitely need to figure this out and get some of these kids back in school and get into the schools, because I think that's what this is about. Maybe I could be wrong. I don't know, but it's just dangerous in the field. So, it's definitely on high alert whenever you're out and about and you're at a stop sign or a red light. It is open season here in Chicago on the vehicles. It's like New Jersey Drive in Chicago, for real. All right, we are going to segue. Our next guest is putting on some lip balm or chapstick, either or. Not really sure which is which, but she's joining us now. Tribble, who was the former daytime host over at Vocalo 91.1 FM, my second home, and now she's in a lot better weather climate than we are. How are you? Good evening.
I'm all right, man. I would beg to differ about the weather. It's a lot of lies out here. To like what the weather is about, it's a lot of lies going on. So
is it though? Is it?
Yeah, like it's been raining a lot here lately, and I grew up knowing the song "It Never Rains in Southern California." And before I moved out, there was like, oh, it's no water, it's a water crisis. It's a drought. It's not a damn drought. It's raining every day. So I just feel like a lot of people lied. Plus, I would take snow over the anxiety of earthquakes. I think take the cold, because
I suppose that's a good trade-off.
You know for a fact that it's going to be cold as hell for 9 months in Chicago, but here you never know when an earthquake is just going to collapse your whole building. Like, you don't know. I want. Well,
I mean, you've been gone for how long have you been? When it's like almost a year and a half now, right? Since you jetted. So, but you were around before when it was like the winters were warmer. Like Christmas Day was like 60 degrees. So it's not always cold, but we go through like these moments, and like right now it's like 30 degrees outside, which isn't terrible. But then there's just moments where it's just like when was it? It wasn't last year, it was the year before. I don't know if you were still in the city, but we had like a some sort of advisory where it was so cold. It was like -20. It was like Arctic weather that everyone just had to stay home. And I ended up taking like 2 PTO days off because it was just like so cold outside. It's like those stupid anomalies that happen in the city. But it's like for the most part, it's not terribly cold.
That year, the first, I don't know if it was the first, but that is a memorable vortex year for me because that's when Jussie Smollett did his little.
That's right. Yeah.
He was like, I was walking to fucking. No, you weren't walking anywhere to Subway. I don't think you're gonna be walking to Subway. You know what I'm saying? I feel like make a sandwich. You feel me? Like you're not walking to Subway in -20 degrees for damn sure. I was just talking about that with somebody. That's what I remember about the polar vortex. Is like thinking to myself, would I walk to Subway in -20 degree weather?
Hell no. And he was like straight off the flight. Like he's like, this is the first thing I'm doing when I land in Chicago.
Yeah, he got to Chicago and he was like, it's cold as hell. I know, but I just can't wait to get some Subway.
Listen, hey, sometimes Subway is the only option in the middle of the night, but sometimes what also isn't an option is MAGA, nooses. Those aren't really an option at 3 in the morning in Chicago.
Not in Chicago. I feel like niggas are too wild in Chicago for MAGA people. Like niggas are too wild in Chicago for MAGA folks to be acting up. You never know. You never know what, you know what I'm saying, what niggas in Chicago would do. So I really that was a crazy story.
I want to give a shout out to Michael Puente from WBZ. He's checking in the chat space and watching the show. So he's one of my favorite people on the radio and over at NPR. But I'm glad that you're joining us. I've just been so like we've had these great exchanges online. I was like, let's just do this because I've really been wanting to. The last year obviously has been nothing to smile about, and you're just such a cheerful person who's always like you have these moments with your Twitter account where you're like really reflective of like exes and people in your life and like weird shit that just happens to you, and you just do a good job of projecting like what these things that are happening. So I think it's just like really fun to follow you and see what you're talking about. You're like, maybe I should model some spandex on YouTube and be a model for my like maybe I should do that. Like, yeah, hell yeah, let's do that.
That's what I'm feeling like. I feel like I appreciate that, by the way. I used to use Twitter as like a diary, you know what I'm saying? I felt like nobody was reading my tweets, so I would just tweet whatever the fuck I wanted to. And now I feel like I'm aware that people read my tweets, so I'm a little bit more thoughtful with like what I say, but I still want to be completely honest. You know, I feel like the internet, everybody's got to be a influencer. Everybody's trying to get famous off their hobbies or whatever. And I'm just like, I'm tweeting and I'm going to be real about it because there's way more people that can relate to me as just a regular person than trying to be an influencer or trying to be like supreme over the masses. Like, I don't want that.
No, I don't be an influencer. I mean, or at least don't tell everyone you're an influencer. To me, that just has a bad connotation to it. Like you do nothing else in life.
I want an influencer check though. These motherfuckers.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Hey. I got a ring light. I feel like I'm halfway there. You know what I'm saying? But
you can see.
You know what I mean?
I have this dark shadow, which is like I'm not very dark complected, but I look very Antonio Banderas right now, and I do definitely need a ring light to brighten this area up because the lighting in here is terrible. So I need to invest in that. Maybe that might up my stock in being a influencer for something.
Don't do it because. Why I'm not an influencer today is because I bought this ring light and look, you can see it right in my glasses. I can't even. I can't do it. If I'm trying to make a video, I got this ring in my eye. People are gonna be like, is she missing an eye? Like, are we in the Matrix? Is laser? Like, is she about to laser us away and shit? Like, it's not worth it. My glasses just ruin every picture. That's why a lot of like high resolution pictures, a lot of headshots, I have to take my glasses off.
Yeah.
The photographer is like, can you just turn your back to the camera because your glasses are ruining the shot? So I just take them off usually.
What if we could be influencers for all our bad behaviors? So like I can be like, I could tell you how to be obese. Like, pay me to do it, and I will show you how.
That I could be wasn't for like, this is how you get through every day without giving a fuck that your credit score is 26. Who cares? This is how. Yeah, I want to start a Reddit thread. I want to, if there's Redditors in this looking at this, like, I need y'all to start a thread about student loans, because for one, I'm not paying them back, and I feel like if the anonymous Redditors can do something about it, that was even better for me. But if anybody else wants to learn how to get through life without paying your student loans back, hit me up.
I love reading, especially from white women who to the like can't remember. Like if you're mad that you're one of those people that hunker down and you micromanage every dollar to pay back your student loan, and you did it, but you're mad at someone because they might get, I don't want to say bailed out, but have their student loans, forgiven. But you're mad at someone for getting a forgiven loan. It's like you're the worst person ever.
Exactly.
And
the thing is that American life is not fair to everybody. You know what I'm saying? We had to accept it for so long. Now it's your turn, bitch. You gotta accept this shit. I'm not doing it. It's not my turn anymore, so I don't feel bad.
I mean, if Uncle Joe comes through with his forgiveness plan, and he knocks off like 20,000, I'd be so happy. I'd be like, all right, I could probably manage the remaining amount, but like 50,000 would be a lot better.
I would still be mad because no, I can't pay 50,000. That's what I'm telling you. You know what they tell you? Like when you trying to like improve your credit score, they tell you like, just call the creditors. That's the first thing they tell you. Call the creditors, see if you can work out a deal. But nobody's giving me Joe Biden's phone number. You know what I'm saying? So if he takes 20,000 off, I'm not good with that. How am I going to get him on the phone so I can work out a better deal? If I can't do that, we're gonna have to hold off. I want to filibuster this thing if I could.
Yeah. What was it? I had my mother. I don't know if she's watching or not, but I hope she doesn't mind me sharing the story. But I think it was something along the lines of like she had called the credit card company to like get like a lower interest rate, and they were like, yeah, no, we can't do that. Like, the some shit they always tell you, like, this is like the industry standard for people like you at this rate or this amount, whatever. And she was like, like, I'm really, like, it's something effective, like my income has slowed down. So this is a reason why you should help me. But they took that as like, oh, you can't pay your bills. Let's. And so I think they ended up like locking her account and like just dragged her so that they can get her money back.
That's how they fucking do you. It's messed up. I don't understand. Like, if my credit score is low, that tells you that I have some type of issue with paying my bills. Why would you give me a higher bill than the motherfuckers who pay their bills on time? You should give me a discount because you getting some money is better than
right.
Yeah, that's stupid as hell. But that's why. And I was watching the guy who's on previously to me.
Oh, Ross Mack, yeah.
I've been on I've been on Robinhood this week, trying to get rich. You know, I bought some cryptocurrency. That shit was It was going up for a minute. I made like $100 on 40 bucks, and I should have sold it because it went right back down. You know, I bought some GameStop stocks, but I did it too late. So that was some bullshit. I had to sell it. $1, you know what I'm saying? I don't like casinos. This shit feels a lot like a casino to me. I want to delete my account and shit. I need my money back.
That's why I'm really worried of like trying to do it, because one, I don't know what I'm doing, and there's like, of course, there's like, you know, stock experts all over your timeline now. We're like, yo, this is going up. Bitcoin is going up. GameStop, AMC stock is going up. Oh, I'm riding this wave. I'm making X amount of dollars. And you're like, okay, that's cool. I'm glad you know what you're doing, but that's not enticing me to throw my money into something I don't understand. So it's both exciting, also, and demoralizing, because you can't play along. And it's like walking into like an ethnic restaurant and everyone's speaking a foreign language and you can't participate. It's the same shit. It's like
that is true. That now LA has a large like Hispanic population, Latinx population, and people speak Spanish. Like my landlord, he speaks mostly Spanish, and I throw my little gracias in there sometimes. And that's basically like, that is a great representation of how I buy stocks, because I'll be buying. Like Amazon stock is like $800 a share. I put my little $20 on it. I got about 1/3,000th of a share, but that's good enough. That's my little gracias on the stock market. If the stock market was all Spanish, my shares would be the little gracias I throw in every now and then.
Your value of a stock is the same amount that an artist gets for one stream. Like 0.000007.
Exactly. You know, something is better than nothing. One day that's gonna turn into $1 million. I know it.
I guess you get a royalty check for 12 cents. Like, congratulations.
Yeah, I'm about to get my little dividend payment. You ain't gonna be able to tell me nothing.
The fucking stamp that sent you that check is worth more than the check.
They could have kept it. The paper.
Yeah, no shit. So they're now they're at a loss.
I have gotten I got like a 61-cent check in the mail one time.
Oh my god!
You know, like when you get a check in the mail, you know it's a check, because
definitely
different type of envelope. Like, and when you get a check in the mail, especially one you weren't expecting, that shit is the most. It's like it's so exciting. It feels great. You like, oh my god, and especially. It always seems to be like a check comes in the mail when you hungry as hell, you know what I'm saying? Or like when you just paid a bill and you like, man, now I don't have, you know, enough money to do this or that, you know? And then how fucking salty is it when you open a check and it's 61 cents, man? That feels terrible. I feel like if you have to mail me a check for less than $1, you should just keep it. And don't even just scam me out of 61 cents. I don't even care to know that I don't even give a fuck. You owed me 61 cents. Like, it's insulting for you to think that I would appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Donate that to charity. Somebody else could use it, you know?
I'll say this. We get a refund check for our home insurance like every year. And it's like, I never know when it's going to come, but it's like, oh, here's $300 because we over projected what your insurance would be. And so you overpaid. And I'm like, oh, great. And you just get like, it's like, if you're ever fortunate enough to get like a refund check while you're in school, it's like that. I was never fortunate enough.
We talk about fortunate. Refund check. I feel like that's predatory. Refund checks were predatory. I want to sue the system because that shit was fucked up. I was getting refund checks in college. I was buying bottles of Moet. You know what I'm saying? I was at the club, you know, on a refund check, not thinking that when I'm X amount of years old, because I'm lying about my age now, so I really don't want to say. If now when I'm X amount of years old, I gotta pay that money back with interest. Like I'm looking at thousands of dollars on my student loan bill. Like, damn, that went toward some bullshit. I didn't even pay for a class with that, or I had to think about the time that, no lie, like this is embarrassing. It's embarrassing to say, but it's true, man. One semester, one quarter, I got a 0.0 in college, bro, because I just didn't go to class. I couldn't go to class, and I didn't drop my classes. I couldn't drop my classes because then I would be not enrolled, you know?
Yeah.
And I got a fucking 0.0. Every time I look at my student loan bill, I just think about the fact that, like, it wasn't worth it. I didn't even fucking, and now I'm not even using my degree now. I am using, when I was in college, I used to go to this library. This one library had a little recording booth in it, and it was for whatever major this library represented, whatever school it was on. But I used to go in there, and you had to like reserve it. I used to go reserve this recording booth and go just make raps for hours. Like, just go make fucking raps. And my friends would come by. People would text me like, where are you? I'm in the recording booth. People would come by and we would just record raps in this booth all fucking day. And when I look at my student loan bill, these are things that come to mind. The 0.0, these raps that I don't even know where they are now, you know? And I'm using the skills that I learned recording in that recording booth, just bullshitting more than I'm using my actual degree. It's crazy.
Yeah, my college degree has been it's been more valuable for the networking and the relationships I built through than the actual degree landing a job, if that makes any sense. Like it's one of those weird things, is like the degree itself isn't what holds the value, is the people you meet along the way to obtain a degree that is worthless. Is what has all the value inside.
That's what they say. I went to Ohio State, to the business school at Ohio State.
Oh.
Yeah, that's lucrative and shit. But the best thing there, they had this career services center, and that we had to do, in order to graduate, you had to do a mock interview on campus, and you had to do like a resume and have your resume approved by these people that worked in a career center. So I learned how to interview. Like, I basically learned how to get hired. And since then, there really hasn't been a job that I interviewed for that I didn't get offered, you know?
Oh.
And so that was the beginning of me being a catfish. Like, I don't even know what's on my resume at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll put every fucking thing on my resume. I'll be twisting words on my fucking resume. Like, I don't even know what it says. I have no idea. Sometimes when I just got a new job this year, and I'll just be like, I don't know what y'all think I can do, but we about to find out. When I find out. Shit, they like, can you do this? I don't know. What did my resume say? I could check the resume and let me know if I said I could do it or not.
I always worry about like over exaggerating my qualifications for that exact moment, to be put into a position of like, well, you said you could do it, so here's your roles and responsibilities, and then you're just gonna be like, yeah, so about that, you know, I don't know if I can I don't know if I can handle that, like that sort of level of embarrassment.
You absolutely can, you know, as long as you don't fall apart. As long as you don't fall apart, you'll be fine. I'm telling you, if you could just keep your composure, you'll be fine. I'm not a good liar in life. Like, I'm really not.
Yeah,
but
same here.
If it comes down to me, I lie to you all day long, you know. Operations, they lie to you. Why not? You know what I'm saying? You lose all your dignity when you go work for somebody. So It just comes down to it. Like, as long as you don't fall apart, you keep your composure and just be like, you know what? I don't know how y'all do things here. So why don't you show me what you mean by, analysis, like data, pulling data. I'll hit you with what do you mean by that in a minute, in a heartbeat. That's a good
or
way.
you like that, or like, oh, that's not how we did it where I was working. I think you'll need to cross train me on how you guys would prefer this work to be done.
Yeah. Here's how we did it, but I don't know what y'all do. So I would just rather you just show me step by step. Give me a tutorial. You can just be one. Did the death fall?
No, I'm using an ironing board as my desk, and it collapsed. So gotta love it.
Ironing board, man. We used to. You got kids, right? This is a good thing. I wish they could hear this, but when I was a kid, we used to use the ironing board and we would pretend we were surfing. We would just be riding on the ironing board when my mom wasn't home. That was a fun game, man.
No, but So I just can't. I don't know if I could lie on my resume. I mean, I would say accentuated some of my skills.
You have to.
The thing that always trips me up, Tribs, on the interview, maybe you can help me out with this, is when they're like, when was there a time that you, and then they fill out, there's some sort of hypothetical, like you showed leadership or you did, like you took ownership over something that never existed and you made that happen. Like, can you tell us a time when you did that? And I'm like, no, I really can't.
That's when you really have to be skilled at catfishing. I'm not gonna call it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be catfish. You gotta pull every story. You gotta think about TV shows and movies. I told a story from Living Single one time in an interview. I swear to God. I was like, I used the names and everything. I was like, well, one time I was interning at a magazine called Flavor with my Khadijah James, ran by Khadijah James. I just told a story about an episode of Living Single. I got the job, though. I got the job. That's how you do that. They want to know, like, some of those questions are straightforward. Like, are you a leader? Have you shown leadership? Or they want to know if you're moldable, too. So you got to think about what they're really asking you. Like, my favorite interview question is, what do you think is your biggest weakness, or what are your weaknesses? What are some things you can improve? And those are times when you get to be hilarious. Like, you get to fucking just say ridiculous shit. Like, you get to be manipulative and it's not looked down upon. Like, if you say these things to like somebody you are love or you're in a relationship with, people are going to be like, that is terrible. But if you say this in an interview, it's like, good job for getting it right. So when they ask you, like, what are your weaknesses? You got to say shit like, I care too much, You got to be like, you got to be like a perfectionist and shit like that.
I care too much.
You got to be super manipulative. That's the only time that being manipulative is a good idea.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. I would have never thought about that. I usually I'm like, always a little, I could probably work on my organization skills. And they're like, red flag, you can't organize, you're done. But
if I were to tell the truth, my biggest weakness is I don't believe in being on time. Being on time is culturally just adverse to my belief. I don't subscribe for timeliness, But I can't tell somebody that. You can ask Sylvia Rivera from Vocalo. I got hired at Vocalo. I was very excited. It's a dream job, Love Sylvia. Sylvia loved me back, but it took about 2 weeks for her to want to fire my ass because she was like, look, bro, you got to be on the radio at 10. Why would you be here at 9:59? Like, So that is my biggest weakness, but I can't. If you say that from jump, one, they're not gonna hire you. But if they do hire you, you can't then be like, I'm just going through something right now where like for some reason I just can't wake up on time. Like you can't even make an excuse later. So you got to be manipulative in the beginning.
There you go. Well,
I hope nobody ever sees this. Like,
well,
good thing a job already.
I was actually. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Well, I was actually there the first day you were doing like demo, like you were kind of like doing like an air check type thing where like you were doing a show, but like no one was listening. You were just like kind of just going through like how to work the board and all that. I was actually in the other room, the producer room. And they were like, oh, yeah. They're like, yeah, Trib's like, she's going to be filling in during the day. I'm like, that's cool. Like, like
that was really cool.
I know.
I have a story about that Vocalo times. I used to work in logistics and I really hated it. And I had to quit my job because I worked with this racist ass white dude who was just out of control. I don't know if other black people have been through this situation, but this man, he was nice, but I found out he wanted to say the N-word so bad. Him and his wife, they couldn't wait. First time I went to their house, they were like, oh, our favorite movie is Half Baked. And Half Baked is my favorite movie. And the part of the movie that they referred to is like something you would never nobody quotes this part of the movie because it's like the only time they say the N-word in the movie. And it's a very quick, it's a very quick part of the movie that's not even important. But they say the N-word and they were like, oh, this is our favorite part of the movie. And I'm like, really? To me? You want to say that you couldn't wait to say that to me. It was weird. So anyway, I figured out I was hosting trivia at the time. And people would always be like, you have a great voice. You should be on the radio. And so I was like, I'm going to try to be on the radio. I think that is what I want to do with my time, my life. This was back in like 2015. Mm-hmm. And so I started my podcast. I worked my ass off, like just trying to become like a host and like, build my skill set. I couldn't, there's this resume I learned because I tried. Believe me, I tried. You cannot lie on a radio resume because they want you to work for free unless you have been on radio before, So I built up my resume, finally got this job at Vocalo, and I was like super excited. But before that, they invited me to be on Vocalo. Jill and her co-host at the time. I had written Jill actually like in 2015 or 2016, asking if I could shadow her. And she wrote me back and was like, anytime, like just come to the studio. But I like never went. And I guess Jesse, who was her co-host, he had written me on Facebook to ask if I wanted to come in to be a guest on Feminist Wednesdays. And Facebook has this thing where if you're not friends with somebody, their messages go to a different inbox.
Right.
And so I didn't see that message from Jesse until a year later, like 2017. And I was like, what the hell? And so I finally saw the message and I wrote him back and I'm like, wow, like, I'm just now seeing this message. Like, can I still come and be on as a guest? And he was like, yeah, I'll let you know when we have, another opening. And they did. They actually kept their word and started letting me come be on Feminist Wednesdays. And it just kind of went from there. So I'm like forever grateful to everybody at Vocalo who helped me like and believed in me and like and gave me like space to be on the radio. That shit was really lit. And I wish I still worked there, but I really fucking hate LA and I wish I never moved here, but
well, we definitely miss you, and I'm so glad you gave us some of your time today and just to have some laughs because we definitely But we do have some very serious conversations here, so I thought this was a nice change of pace to have you on. So you're definitely welcome back anytime you want to do this again and share some more of your thoughtful wisdom on interviewing techniques that can get you one step ahead without fully jeopardizing your potential employment.
Yeah, you should do a segment called Trib's Career Corner. I'll come give career advice that is completely it's not what they would teach you in school or in books. This is the real raw shit. This is what they don't want you to know. So I'll come back. Because if there's not a job I couldn't get, I could probably if I could get a resume accepted and get an interview to be an astronaut, I would get that job. I'm telling you.
We should definitely role play next time you come on, and you could just like interview me and then chastise me for saying the wrong thing, and we can go from there. Looks like Tribble might have some disconnect. Oh, there you are. All right, good deal. All right, well, Tribble, enjoy the rest of your evening in wonderful LA, where I'm sure it's 60 degrees and no snow, but earthquakes. So
49 degrees, no snow.
Okay. Poor you. Thank you so much for coming on Weekend at Gabe's with Weekend Gabe. I appreciate your time. I'll definitely have you back soon.
All right, holla.
Right. Tribble joining us here on Weekend at Gabe's. Coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to be talking with the Prime Meridian and Rashid Hadi. It looks like we got Race, Bannon, and Simeon in the guest space. So we want to try to get Rashid into the space so we can all loop in together. That'd be fantastic. Tribs is just such a great person to have. Looks like we're getting Rashid plugged in, so we're going to give him a moment. I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back right here on Weekend at Gabe's. All right, we're back. I see Rashid, you ready? Simeon, you guys ready? Looks like you're ready. I'm gonna start roping in some of the team for tonight's guest. Race doesn't have his video on. I don't know if he's there or he's waiting for us to start. But good evening, everyone.
What's happening, man? Gabe, how you doing, man?
Good. It's so good to see you. It's been like a really long time since I've seen any of you guys. So it's I'm really appreciative that you guys are making time to talk with me about your new album, Prime Diesel. But while Rashid looks like he's struggling with his phone,
trying to set this bad boy up.
It's all good, you know.
But how you guys doing? I'm good now.
There you go. How you guys doing tonight?
Oh man, blessed, man. Shoot, we in a pandemic and we alive and we doing well. We able to put out art. We still
there we go.
Make a living, man. It's been a blessing, man.
Hey, turn your phone, bro. Like your phone is sideways.
Oh yeah, they go horizontal.
Yeah, you like.
Who is that?
Let me try this way now. Is this better?
No, sir.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I think you're fine, Simeon. Don't sweat it too much. You're good.
Am I here now?
All right.
It looks like Race is on with his camera on, but you know, I suppose that's fine.
Man, I can see me on the camera. I don't know why. That's
I don't know. It's just a black block. I don't know what's going on with your phone.
Yeah, it's no
I'm on the laptop.
I don't know. Oh, go into the bottom where it says like camera and make sure your camera is up, turn on.
Look like it's.
Mm.
Let's see.
You know, we got a flicker of something. It's okay. It's live. We're good. No one's watching. well, Ray, I mean, we have his voice, so I guess I'll try to troubleshoot that. But good evening, fellas. I appreciate you guys joining us. Prime Diesel's the new album. You guys just dropped it at the top of the year, which feels weird because we're almost done with January. But the album is fantastic, man. I wanted to get you guys on. Looks like we lost Ray, so we'll bring him in when he gets back on. But I wanted to get you guys to get in because I love always talking with you guys, especially Rashid and you, Simeon, and Race, because you guys would stop by when I was at Loyola, and you guys would pop in when you guys had new music. And Rashid, obviously, you and Slot and Sen, you guys are all connected. And when Fillmore and you guys would come up to talk about your music. Oh, there he is. We can see you now, Race.
Okay. Now I can't see me.
Yeah, we see you.
You're fine. So, seeing yourself isn't as important as seeing you.
Yeah, I see me now.
But anyways, but I always love talking with you guys because you guys are both fun, and then also you guys have like this great storied history of hip hop music in Chicago, and so I was really happy. I happened to run across Rashid's Instagram, and I clicked on one of the links that you have in your bio. And that's how I found out you guys had an album. I had no idea. So I'm gonna start there. I'm gonna start there actually. How frustrating is it now? Because 10 years ago, you guys could rely on like music blogs. We all use music blogs as sort of the outlet for anything that was new was coming out. And now that seems to have gone away. Everyone's depending on, hopefully a playlist or algorithm or getting told by the streaming services. So how much does it suck that to get the awareness that your music is out there? Like, well, what do we need to do to change that?
Man, you got to do 1,000 push-ups and take your shirt off.
I don't think that's good for anyone, but I'm glad you think that's a good idea.
I mean, for real, I need your email address, your direct email address, because I got to get you on the, up to speed, man.
Absolutely.
I did spend good money on Rashid and his other projects. So I got that.
Yes, indeed. We're very thankful, bro. We appreciate you supporting always.
Are you guys gonna put Prime Diesel on vinyl?
It is on vinyl, actually.
Yeah, it just came out this week.
All right, I'll put my order in this weekend.
Yeah.
It's on Culture Power 45 records. So big up Taiwan and the crew, but it's definitely available.
All right, I'm at the. I need a turntable though. So do any of you guys want to borrow me your turntable?
I got two broken ones. Maybe you put them both together, you could make one good one.
Or you can I can get the CD from Race who has the physical. I don't know.
I got some physicals.
What is more challenging to get, a CD player or a record player?
Shoot, these days, I mean,
I would say CD player.
It seems like CD players are a little bit harder to come by.
Yeah, they don't even put them joints in the car no more.
Right.
Oh no. I still have the Iowa 5 CD changer.
You can buy that. They're selling like the component ones now. The one where you can get the CD player with the tape deck and the record player on top. They sell those now.
Yeah, but I don't want the novelty CD, the record player. I want like a technique that actually produces a quality sound. Like that novelty shit.
I don't think they make techniques anymore, do they?
Yeah, they sell them on their site, but they're sold out right now. I was looking. They still sell them.
They backlog for
They got it's who made this? Was this Pioneer? Wait, let me see. Cause I got one. It kind of looked like it. Hold on, let me look at the.
Like, who the fuck still sells? Who sells the turntables? Like those, I don't know. I mean, you guys are deep into the mind.
You could get them USB portable turntables. They still have them at, like, Guitar Center. You could even still get them at
There you go. Yeah,
you get them online.
Yeah, Pioneer. Yeah, Pioneer make that. It's I got mine on Amazon.
Yep.
For like four something.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of expecting to pay, because the novelty ones where they're like built into like a suitcase and shit. Like, I don't want that in the house.
They get the job done. They get the job done. Like the Crosley.
No, I heard the Crosley was trash though. Like, I had like legit DJs tell me like, don't buy that.
Well, I mean, it's the needle. You know, it's that needle. You know, that home stereo. Like these like portable joints like this, you know, they got that needle that with the red tip, you know, those needles don't really give you very high quality sound, you know, but it's good for like producers, you know, when we trying to take some of the fidelity away, you know, and get that gritty sound.
Yeah. So, oh well, we'll talk about that. Well, you guys have to help me out with that, anyways. But the new album out, Prime Diesel. What's up with the title? It's for the name of the album is phenomenal, by the way. Anything with Diesel in it, you already got my attention. So,
boom,
High Diesel.
I mean, because it's such a strong word. So, like, anything you add before or around it, it's phenomenal. So
there it is. You got Rashid Hadi, aka High Diesel, right?
Yeah.
And then you got the Prime Meridian. So we put that together like so. Prime Diesel.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have always been working together, and Rashid, like, you obviously have your collection of artists that you work around and share time with. What is it about this effort that drove you guys to, like, all right, let's start working on something? Was it the pandemic last year? We guys had some downtime and, you know, some extra energy, or was this something you guys have been plotting for a while now?
Yeah, actually, we've been plotting it for a while. To be honest with you, believe it or not, this album is about 12 years in the making, maybe more. So this is a collection of songs we've recorded, you know, through that time up until now, you know. So it's like they've been tested out, you know, to see if you like if they'll stand the test of time, basically. And these was the songs that made the cut, that made this project. So, man, you know, if you tested it out for years, you know the song got to be right. You know, it got to be right. If it's still bumping in 2021, you know, some songs didn't make the cut for the album at least. But yeah, overall, this was a 12 plus years in the making on this project.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
So what record is like the most oldest that you guys can remember?
For this album, I'd have to say High Wednesday, I think, was the first actual song that we hopped on together. And it was, and I think Hadi had a project with the Hip Hop Project at that time.
Change Gonna Come mixtape.
Big up Cosm Rocks on that, you know. But yeah, we had connected before that by way of Abstract Mind State. So big up Ice Bree and, you know, the Abstract Mind State crew. We legendary Chicago hip hop, you know, Greg linked me and Jamal and Race, you know, with Hadi. And we had did a song with them. And from that point, like I said, we did the High Wednesday. That's what kicked it off. And from that point, we just we would get together, you know, a couple times out the month, or, you know, just whenever we all could. And it will always be great times. And it's a lot of material, like Hadi mentioned, that for this album, it didn't make it, but you may hear it in other different variations. Some of that stuff even was on the Crack of Dawn mixtape that we had put out as well with the Hip Hop Project. So Hadi laced like 5 of those tracks. You know, we had like Buff One on one of them. We had a variety of guests, but so when we got together, though, you know, we made sure it was special, and Hadi is really good at keeping things, you know, where we'd forget about songs. Like, he had a whole catalog of songs, and It'll be songs he would play like, dang, we did that. I don't even remember that. One of them was Night Train, a video we did that Taiwan directed. It was called Night Train, and we had put that out. That got some love too. So yeah, it's been a long time coming. That's gonna be one of the singles coming out soon. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I
think the final home for that Night Train joint, it ended up on the Dreamer EP that I put out officially in 2019. But it had been out. It had been out for a minute.
Yeah. Well, what are some of the newer records that you guys recorded to help fill it out, and you guys can complete the project?
I know 2 of the later sessions we had were with Fillmore Green and with my guy Phil. Used to call himself Phil G. Big up to both of them guys. But we
he changed his name?
Yeah. My guy Phil is
okay.
Is Phil G's name now. But yeah, we got them in the lab for the one was for the Eyes Wide Shut song, and the other one was for the people for the World Go Round. We had a song called World Go Round. So those are the later additions to the project.
Yeah. What about a race? Because I want to rope you into this. Like, what was your feeling about? Because were you and Simeon recording before this project, or were you guys kind of just taking a break? What was the Prime Meridian doing during the last year or
so? We recorded some things here and there. I mean, speaking of my guy Phil, and with Simeon, I got a project coming out called Racetracks. It's featuring my guy Phil, and Simeon's on one of the songs. We recorded some stuff with Jay Slick. Hopefully that might be coming out on Culture Power project coming out soon. Man, picking up some production from people like Cool Out Chris, Neek, just man, in the background, slow cooking in the crock pot. We from the crock pot era, when you leave out early in the morning and come back home to a meal.
All right. As I was listening to the record, I was thinking that you guys obviously have you guys favor towards a very, I would say, authentic and genuine sound of hip hop, right? I think that's fair. That you guys aren't like following any fads or trends of what commercial radio or latest are telling us to do. And when I was listening to Take Me Back, I kind of felt like what you guys were trying to say is like, just being honest to the form and the culture. Does that have some benefits, but also some cons? Because it kind of leaves you in a space where you're servicing a group of fans that want you, but it doesn't open the door for attracting new fans, or does that not matter?
I mean,
I would say a little bit of both, because due to like social networks that like artists have, you kind of end up dealing with the same crowd. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You end up having access to the same people and not having access to, newer people that may not have heard about you. So that's kind of like what keep us like, constantly in that bubble. It's like you in the social distance bubble,
Yeah, definitely.
To add on to that though, too, like, we, the younger crowd, the youth, they're going crazy over the 90s stuff right now. That's a thing with a lot of not just the Gen X, Gen
X, yeah.
Not just the millennials, but even the Zs, especially the Zs, in fact. They really just ever since I've been working at like street level or U Media, even now just in schools, like for whatever reason, you got some, of course, they into what's now, the trap or whatever it is, whatever's happening, they into that. But there's a whole other component of youth that really, really like the 90s.
Yeah.
And all of its splendor though, even if it's Pac and Biggie or if it's, Light and whoever, you know, it goes. But it's just the 90s though. It just seems to have really prevailed in that regard. So this was a very natural expression for us, you know, with that. What we were trying to appease to a younger crowd. We were just kind of doing what we do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Do you? I was gonna say that too, like, because you know, I think that the like you see me on like and race. I know you guys both kind of work with kids, and like I'm around kids as well, and like they kind of like shun. I think depending on kind of what age group you're looking at, but like the teenagers probably have more appreciation for it. But just like rhyming in general, like that seems to be a skill that's slowly diminishing, and that's becoming more focused on just like what can your hook be, or how clever can your hook be, and how attentive can it be, and the record and writing skills is starting to diminish. Do you guys kind of feel like when you guys are putting records together, that there's an extra emphasis on, you know, focusing on not only just best rapper you could be, but telling the best story that you could tell?
Well, I would have to say this. You know, it's definitely like things have evolved in a way where, you know, people focus on the melody of their flows.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We just stick to what we do. Like, it ain't really like a storytelling type thing, but we still paint. It's like you just painting pictures with words, and you could just see the images. You know, it's more like type that, and a focus on the flow. You know, just details of the patterns of the flow and stuff like that. You know,
I mean, I'm always glad that you guys are still like producing and making music, and because I think you guys always have something to say, and you guys are always doing something that's different and also that's interesting to listen to. So I'm always glad that you guys are still staying around when a lot of people haven't, you know, continued on with their careers, and you guys are still putting out records. And also you guys are like in this bubble of great artists, like, you know, Rashid and Fillmore have you guys have your relationship, and Neek and Slot, who's on the album. So I feel like you guys are in like a really great space of collaboration and a collection of different artists. Do you guys get motivated off, you know, what other people are doing in your circle, or are you, or race? Are you like just self motivated?
I mean, it's a little bit of both, you know. I mean, you definitely got to be self-motivated, but I mean, it's always beautiful to see other people around you doing things and, you know, achieving things and achieving their goals and, you know, working, learning new things, you know.
And it's kind of like a modern native tongue vibe almost, like
definitely
everybody feeding. It's not like we trying to be native tongue, I mean, but it's just everybody feeding off of one another. You know, we did songs with Neek, you know, from back then, you know, before we even knew Neek was gonna be on this album, or, you know, like you mentioned, how D Fillmore, they got a relationship, you know, and we all have intersected in other realms just because how Chicago's such a small world, you know. I think you were trying to earlier, Gabe, allude to the ad-lib rap that's going on right now. I think the youngsters are kind of doing ad-lib rap. So we got rap.
I didn't know that was like what it was called, but that's cool.
It's students that I'm talking about every word. It would be hey.
I'm going to the bathroom.
And it's just the letter A, you know. But it's bopping or something, right? It's got a certain bop to it. I mean, it's just, man. We, you know, things evolve.
And them joints, you know, I mess with them. You know, I like some of that stuff. I don't like everything, of course. You know, when the voice get a little too high pitched and baby sounding, I can't really go that far, but.
Yeah,
you know, it's a lot of good vibey stuff. Like that's why I like to look at it. It's like real, it's vibey. You know, like I definitely love Corday.
Oh,
I love his stuff. He's real dope. He's not no ad lib rapper though, but that was a bad example. That was a bad example.
I'm like,
but man,
TikTok rappers.
Yeah, that's just crazy. But hey, that's what hip hop, as is considered to be these days.
Well, that's
I
pop.
was
That's pop music.
yeah, I was just talking about that the other day because it's like so that style of music is more like R&B to me. I would consider that more like R&B, even though it's like trappy and gangster and hard.
Right.
It's still, it was a lot of people like that, like R. Kelly. Like, you mean to tell me if R. Kelly was a new artist, he'll be up for debate of being lyricist of the year?
Yeah.
Like a Roddy Ricch or somebody. I love Roddy Ricch's music, but I look at him more like an R&B singer than a rapper. Like, we rap, rap. So it's a difference. It's not really focusing on a melody, although we might tune our voice up to the beat as we're rapping.
Right.
It's not considered we're not going from one octave to the next, when we rap. So, but with that being said, where does our music fit now? You got some platforms that consider our sound alternative hip hop now. I've seen that on a lot of platforms. They say alternative hip hop, and that's what our sound
what does that mean
now. Like, how is that? When the new stuff should be alternative hip hop, not the traditional hip hop sound. Even though hip hop has evolved since the Sugar Hill days. Of course, Sugar Hill, the Curtis Blow, the Run DMC, and LL Cool J, and all of them to Big Daddy Kane, and then to the '90s era. That's the sound everybody loves. That that's what we grew up off of. So we gonna love it. But that's the same way the shorties are now. They growing up off of Soulja Boy and, Future, Young Thug, So they growing up off of that sound, and that's all they really know, because you only really know what's new.
Yeah.
You only really know what's new, just like we did when we was coming up. My parents was listening to Anita Baker and, all songs with singing in it. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
So when I'm playing my Tupac, it's like, you better turn that off when you playing that filthy music. But that's all I knew. I didn't want to hear nothing. If I hear a sing at all, like any kind of projection of the voice in a singing way, I turn it off. When I was growing up, I had to grow into an ear for, liking songs with even having singing melodies on it, So, but look at how the whole music just evolved. Now you can't get past a song without it's got some kind of melody. Every song got a melody to it, like the verses. That's how they write their verses nowadays. They use patterns as well. Everybody uses the same pattern, but that's just hip hop now. And we are alternative hip hop now. Like, nah.
That's so weird that do you think it's like an ageism type thing, like like a form of disrespect, or they just don't know what how to package and box it and sell it?
It is, in a way, even though some artists, definitely might not help the fact, but it definitely is some kind of ageism, because I've seen some people, I'll check out a review here and there of the the do-it-yourself reviewers, the independent reviewers, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, Prime Diesel, that's some grown man rap." I'm like, man, we literally got a song on there talking about riding around iron wide thighs and butt. That's grown. I guess that's grown man rap. I guess that's grown man rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know what can, that's why, I see a lot of people, they just automatically label it grown man rap if they feel like you've been around. Like, oh yeah, I've seen Hot D name before. That's grown man rap,
Yeah.
When I'm probably the most irresponsible.
Have they not heard your first album, like, which is just all types of scandalous shit?
So much, man. Like, I don't know, but it you know what I'm saying? However, sometimes it's just a perception that you give off. A lot of people expect especially when you hear the name Rashid ID, oh, this dude about to sound like, you know, Common or Talib Kweli. His name rhyme with Talib Kweli, you know. You know what I'm saying? So, but that, I can understand. It's all a perception thing, but that's the thing. It's on us as independent artists to reinforce our brand in a way to let people know and not be put in those boxes, because that's what people like to do. They like to just go ahead and sit you in a box. Like, I feel like the approach should be, okay, I'm writing about this artist. I'm writing this article. I'm doing this interview for the people that know who they are, not for the people that don't know who they are. I'm not just about to sit up here like, oh yeah, the local artist, this, and you know what I'm saying, and that. I'm just going to make this article for the people who know who they are, not the people who don't know who they are, because you making them, it's like you being condescending, you know, and that don't help us. You know what I'm saying? It don't help us, like, people, it don't help people take us serious. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think it's and I think I was listening to when LL Cool J, when he took over Shade 45, not Shade 45, Backspin on Sirius, and now it's like, it's, what the fuck's it called? Rock the Bell.
Rock the Bells.
But remember, it was Backspin though, and so and he just sort of relabeled it, and he was like, well, there should be space for artists, like, I won't say aging artists, but like artists who've been around for a while, so that they don't get lost in the sauce, that there's still space for them. Like, so if Coogee Rap, or if, you know, Big Daddy Kane was to put a record out, how do you service that, right? So there should be a space for, like, I don't know what the best way to describe it is, because like when people talk about country, they don't say like old school country. You know, it's just country.
Yeah, it's just country.
Yeah, that's real.
It's like it's only, it feels like only in hip hop, and because the form was always designed for youth, or felt like it was always designed for youth. The culture has never sort of evolved or grown out of it. There were exceptions, right? Like Jay is the exception. Karis One is the exception. There's people who've grown, but then there's other people like, yo, they need to stop. But it's like it's the dumbest shit ever. And it feels like there's always sort of a gauntlet thrown out for anyone who's over X, whatever the median age, to stop rapping, or it's not cool anymore for your age. And I can almost predict that Nicki Minaj, whenever she decides to come back, that they're gonna throw that shit out at her. Like, oh, she's a mom now. She's almost 40. What's she shaking her ass for? That's crazy. You know it's coming.
Really? Like, really?
Yeah.
You come on, man. Like, that's just crazy.
Yeah,
but you know what's coming though. You know what's gonna happen.
It is.
There has to be a space. There has to be a dedicated space for artists. If that's what we're gonna do, then we need to create a space for artists like yourself who don't fit into commercial, you know, fast music with the ad libs and with the singing shit. As like, there's just hardcore beats and rap. How do we do that?
We the Lionel Richie of this rap. We the Frankie Beverly of the rap. You feel me? Like that. We gotta, you know, LT.
I'm more like the Rick James, I guess. I don't know.
That. Like, that's what I'm saying. All of these people, we are now in that, because, you know, soul R&B, you could be grown and sing about grown men. Lou Rawls, sing about grown man things. Al Green, you know what I mean? But within the rap and the hip hop context, it ain't, you know, like you said, it's more pigeonholed. It's giving this expiration date or the youth time stamp on it. But I mean, I think as this continuously evolving, like I heard KRS-One just put an album out.
Yeah, it's okay.
You know,
I actually liked it. Yeah.
I know Master Ace is still putting out stuff, and Cool Rap is still putting out stuff. But to your point, what is going to be how can that be marketed and really just put where the people that want to hear it can actually hear it? That's the big piece.
Yeah, I don't have I canceled my Sirius XM because I obviously last year, like a lot of us, we weren't driving anywhere, so I'm like, why not?
Right. We at the crib, we try to figure out where to listen to music. Right. But I know one thing, you know, as far as platforms go, it's not a playlist like the It's Lit playlist. Like or the other playlists on Apple Music. Like you want to check out a hip hop playlist. Like, you know, Spotify is probably easier because you could go to the user playlist and listen to some good jams here and there. But Apple got it set up so that, you know, it's really streamlined so that people that make our kind of music, we should have a playlist for that, you know, for that style of music, which I think people don't want to hear it. Yes, they do want to hear it. Otherwise, we wouldn't still be doing this. You know, people are still listening to our records, still buying our records, you know, and still, you know what I'm saying, giving us props, showing up at the shows, you know, and vibing out with us, you know. So if it's like that for us on our level, you know, what about a Sky Zoo? What about an Elzai, you know, that's on a higher level and stuff like that, doing their thing, or Little Brother or something like that? Where do their music get played? You know, where do we find that? You know, where do we find Griselda? You know, where do we find like these artists? Like we definitely need some. I don't know if it needs to be separation or just bringing it all together, because I know the sounds are different. But something needs to happen, because I mean it's really not. It's really one-sided, and it's pointless to be one-sided, because it's like, why would you just continue to force that style of music down people's throats? Even though I enjoy trap music, I love that. I love a lot of trap music, but definitely I'd be wanting to sit back and hear like the new dope, you know, records. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear some new good music, and I really got to dig for it. You know, YouTube is like the place to go really right now. You know.
Yeah, I know. Oh, looks like we lost Race. Oh, hang on. Let's see. Anyways, but yeah, we got to figure that out, because I think that these efforts and these albums that you guys are making should get way more attention than they're being treated right now. And and obviously I'm not the mastermind to fix that, but I do want you guys to feel like you guys spend a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of effort, energy producing these records, and too far often albums, they get a lifespan of a day. You know, it's like, and then things disappear, and I feel like we need to fix that, like somehow to troubleshoot that. So anyway,
I think that's where the quality, the high art comes into play too, where, you know, with the vinyl you get the whole experience, the art, the visual art, to come bringing it back to where, you know, where you could just legit sit back and just listen to a whole album with your eyes closed, right? You want to be able to give that experience where it's not the cookie cutter or the microwave, but, you know, you want that whole cohesion in an album to happen. So that's what we, you know, as artists, I think I see a lot of people that are taking it there, you know, and making sure that the visual packaging and the art matches up with the music aspect of the art. That's definitely one way of doing it, and just letting it season. Like Ray said, I mean, we slow cooked this project, you know, in a crock pot, you know what I mean? And we were able to get it where, you know, we were able to see where the fat, you know, was a lot more, you know, we were able to get the fat off of it and so forth. So it's just that the element you like. So if people took maybe a little bit more time with the project, I feel like the lifespan of those projects probably will hold on for a little bit longer.
Yeah. What was the for this? What was your guys' sort of? I know you guys were like piecing the record together over a period of time, but was there an underlining message or theme that you guys were hoping to achieve or to get across, or was it just, let's put together the best 13 records we can come up with?
I would say, yeah, the best 13 records, you know, or the best records we could come up with, because we all have like a similar vibe anyway of, you know what I'm saying, just when we make songs, you know, we just be on our mode, you know what I'm saying? We be, you know, getting our buzz on or whatever. And man, we cook up, you know, that's all we did. Like, it wasn't really like, man, we should just talk about this, or we should talk about that, or let's cater to the ladies. You know what I'm saying? You know how people have a conversation. It wasn't nothing like that, man. It was like this. Excuse me. It was like this. you know, the fellas would come through. I would start making the beat, and next thing you know, they would start writing their rhymes, and you know, and the beat started sounding real good, and I started writing my rhyme, and then we lay it down, man, and forget everything that happened. We're like, damn, when did we record that joint? Nah, man, but that's all our sessions were, man. I get up, I flex on the beat real quick, style on them real quick, and you know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, we writing bars and we got a song, man.
We were over there with the diesel.
The mirror.
I think there's like a lot of diversity from Rashid's production on this. Did you guys kind of realize that it does have like there's harder edge production, but then there's kind of like stuff that's a little bit softer around the edges. You know, I think that's like a great balance.
Yeah, that was the slow cook as well. Like, because in the moment we were just kind of cutting the records, but I think, you know, when we all sat back with it, and really when Hadi kind of sat back with it, I think he was able to, you know, balance it all out, you know, from the work that we had, you know.
Rashid, how many records are you cooking up a day? Because between the work that you're doing with Fillmore, the super group that you have, and then this project, I kind of feel like you have to be like your work ethic has to be impeccable at this point in your career.
Oh yeah, man, it's off the chain now, man. You know, I finally got into my stride. You know what I'm saying? I got the momentum going. So, you know, we working it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? For years, I was working a day job. You know, I was working my day job for years, my whole entire career up until 2 years ago. I finally was like, you know what? I got a plan. I could quit. So I went ahead and quit. And I was like, you know what I'm saying, to put 100% into my career, you know, with the time that I have left, because, you know, we got to take advantage of now. You know, we can't just think like, oh, yeah, in the future I get to it. You know, one day, no, we got to start now. So I got to that point where I learned about the power of now, you know what I'm saying, reading the book. I don't know if you heard of that book, but yeah, man, and I was like, you know what, it's time now. It's time to go ahead and do it. So, you know, once I left the day job, man, it just kind of helped me spread my wings, because, you know, a lot of people don't realize this. In these jobs, you have influences there, because you're around those people more time than you really around yourself, really, to be honest with you, but your own family, because, you know, you spend 8 hours, and in my case, sometimes 10, 12 hours, you know, because we were staying late. And I'm around these, you know, strange, weird acting people, like, that you normally wouldn't even talk to them. Like if you weren't getting paid to deal with them, you wouldn't shake their hands. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you know, don't diss to them, but hey, it is what it is. You know, I was trapped in a box for a long time, you know, and that affects you, you know, because you, in order to be an artist, it gotta be up here, you know, it gotta be all the way up here, you know. Take a breath, I'm losing my breath. But you gotta be all the way up here with it. Like, it's a mental game with this, you know. Like, you know, one of my biggest influences is Kobe Bryant, you know. Live in peace. Let's just say that. But you know, the way Kobe approached the game of basketball with his work ethic, you know, being in the gym after dropping 60 points, and, you know what I'm saying, still in the gym all night, you know, that's the way I look at, you know, that's the way I want to work. That's the way I aspire to work. And that's the way I try to work. I can't match Kobe's work ethic, because he's just a whole nother alien, but I could work toward that. But anyway, it's all a mental game. And when you get around these people, and you get around those people that, like, cut your ego down and just, you know what I'm saying, calling you racial slur, or doing like stuff like racial things around, you know what I'm saying, other people, and you just be like, damn, Oh, you're having the fried chicken for lunch, huh? Look, he's having the fried chicken. Where'd you get
Oh,
that? It sure smells good.
Wow.
And they not like calling your name, but you could tell they like silently, you know what I'm saying? And it mess with you. It mess with your mind, man. It make you feel less than. And you can't be hitting the stage right after, you know what I'm saying? Your confidence is broken. And, I done had nights I get on stage and I see that crowd and I see that crowd and I'd be like, I'm totally not there. My mind is another place,
Yeah.
But that's what happens, man. But ever since I left that job, we went on tour. We done dropped all kind of records, man. We done put together all kind of shows. And, I've been able to embrace myself as an artist, man, and start getting this music out for the people that's looking for it. They've been waiting for me for years. Every city I went to, people wasn't even expecting to see me. They're like, yo, Rashid ID, what, you here? Whoa, yo, they bugging out, and I'm like, wow, I'm in South Carolina. People is walking up to me everywhere, all kind of random places. And so that just let me know right there, like, being on tour with Skyzoo and Elzai and them, man, it just opened my eyes up, like, to my value to hip hop, and you get devalued at these jobs, man. You get real devalued.
Yeah.
Excuse me, my throat is real scratchy. I'm drinking a ginger beer right now, and it's having its way.
It's got that ginger in it, boy. They got that bark.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. But, yeah, but that's been my journey, man. That long story short, the work ethic kicked in the full mode once I got out of that job, and I highly suggest any artist is serious about time, one, and serious about their career. We can't get time back. Every day you wasting in that job, that's time you could be in the gym like Kobe was, getting better and better. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Simeon Race, what is it about Rashid's production that brings out, I guess, your guys' best or motivates you guys?
I mean, it really go back to when I first, again, going back, we were in Tower Records, and it was actually, I was in there with Tree, because somebody, GQ, big up GQ, had sent me a pic. I think Large Professor was in town, and this when they had the Tower store up north. And we were promoting, me and Tree was promoting the All Nighter album. And that's when I saw it was Abstract Mind State was there. I think it was they were having like a listening party or something for their mixtape that that Hadi did the bulk of the production for. And I remember Greg just kept playing these songs, and I'm like, who did these beats? Because they reminded me of beats that as a producer I would make. I done heard Race make. I done heard this cat when he came up with, Reese, Imani, the whole. It reminded me of our crew, but basically, and even that was before we even linked up, started linking up with Tall Black. It was like it reminded me of our crew, but it's like I ain't know the guy, but I knew guys that. Funny enough, he went down. Come to find out, he went to Jackson State. I knew some cats down there that he knew from down there. Big up Scrap Dirty. All of them.
Yes,
but
indeed.
I just kept asking who did the beats, and he kept saying, "Look, man, y'all just need to come through." The crib, over there. That's when we was on the 9 cooking it up at Hot D crib. That's when Race was. That was right around the time as well when Race was coming into the fold, into the Prime Meridian fold, and Tree was focusing more on the education round. So that's how we just kind of came over there. But I mean, the dude got thousands of beats. You know what I mean? Like he the first dude on the scene with Cool Edit Pro making a beat. Just before FL, like the things that he was doing early on reminded me of how we would be like. I remember doing the pause button loop tapes and taking my little 8-second sample of the layer drums or the keys just to make it happen, because that's what we had to do. He was from that same cloth, and he was like one of the first guys we were around. I was using the dial system, the digital stuff. He wasn't using the MPC. Like, I had the EPS, which is like a Sonic ASR, whatever. He was using the computer, but he was making it wang in that. It didn't sound the drums weren't stiff, and it didn't sound plastic or nothing like that. He made it where it was thumping and it had a swing to it. And,
Right.
I don't know. I think me and Racist would come over there. We just started dancing on it basically when we was rapping. We'd just get our little. I had a Shooby Dooby for you, like, and we just the counts that we are, and we just like turn out Rashid is a count too, and a count is just if you a cool guy, Gabe. I think you got some count in you as well, man. I think you a count. I can definitely see that.
I can't do it as well as you guys, so I don't even want to try.
Yeah.
But man, it just got that grit, it got the knot, and it got that soul and that feeling that we always like. And it was a good match, a great match.
Good deal.
Yes, indeed. I want to just say shout out to Rock Customs, Fable, Young Yahweh. Shout out to the peeps. Yeah.
Yahweh and Rocky, what's good?
Appreciate everyone listening. Yeah. Well, let me let you guys go. I kept you guys waiting past longer, but I think it was worth having a great conversation with you guys. Prime Diesel is the new album out. It's on all the digital streaming platforms. Vinyl is available. How can people go and actually lay down some hard cash to support you guys?
Man, you can hit up culturepower45.com and get the vinyl. Or if you prefer the CD or the digital, you can hit up rashidhadid.com. And grab that Prime too. Diesel t-shirts. Oh yeah, man, we got the t-shirts as well. And the t-shirts are very fire. Yeah, we got you. It's like my man Ray said, man. The album sounds even better when you wearing the t-shirt, listening to it.
Is there a vinyl? Is there a vinyl t-shirt bundle, or they gotta like a la carte it?
We working out some promo ideas. Big up Culture Power. Big up Dada Soul Face.
Absolutely.
The artwork for this project is crazy. It's bananas. And
There's a lot going on.
Artwork is just phenomenal, man. Dada went crazy. Kaj G.
Yeah.
Southside Kaj G on the photography as well. Yeah, man. Taiwan Davis with the digital. I mean, not the digital, but the what's the word I'm looking for? The graphic design. Yeah, with the graphic designing. But man, artwork. We couldn't ask for this project to come together any better, man. And it was just perfect timing, man. Just having this ready and how everything came together, and we was able to drop it on New Year's Day. So
I think it's perfect. Mm-hmm. No, it's a fantastic listen to. I listened to it twice today to get through it, and it's fantastic. One thing I will die on this hill that Slot A needs to rap more. So I've told him this. He knows this, and so anytime he jumps on someone's project and is rapping, so he was on the Fillmore joint, which I was like, "You sound great. You need to keep doing that." And he sounds great here again. So we, whatever, just be the Slot A ear whisperer and just be like, "Yo, Slot, I think you can jump on this." Just let's keep egging them into making a rap album because I think I need to hear that.
I'm with it.
You want us to blow in his ear like Lance Stevenson?
Listen, whatever it takes.
He gonna be like, how Slot do? He gonna be like, beat.
That's what you gotta go. That's what you gotta go whisper in his ear.
We had like a group thread battle like a few weeks ago, and he just roasted me, and I was like this is why you need to be rapping. You're phenomenal, and like my antiquated '90s raps do not hold up well. So,
hey, Gabe, what's up with that album, man? We still waiting on that album. I haven't forgot.
What was the Weekend at Gabe's mixtape? I don't know.
You supposed to be blessing us with some bars.
Listen,
conversation we had.
I asked Slot to help write my bars. He declined. He declined to help support that endeavor. But I still have endeavors to do some sort of like mixtape in the future. But maybe because
we might need to put you in a battle rap form. We might need to put you through.
Listen, I've been asking. I asked. I don't know. Maybe I asked Sam, but a long time ago. But I asked someone to help make me like that MTV show. Like I need to be made. So I've been waiting for someone to like mentor me and take me under their rap cloak. Speaking of cloaks, count, huh? I did that.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
I've been waiting for someone to make me and like take me under their wing. Like, yo, you can sharpen up these bars a little bit. And, so maybe race. If you want to be that, that person in my ring to be my or to quote Brown Sugar, be my rap coach. I'm all for that.
Weekend at Gabe's. I'm here for it.
The Weekend at Gabe's mixtape. That's what I mean. Yeah, definitely.
I'm all for it, man.
I want to make it happen too, but I don't want to be like the prime rapper. I just want to like jump in like 4 bars and just like get in, get out.
Four bars? You got to drop.
I think that's all the people can handle.
They ain't ready.
Nah, but we'll tease them. Mm-hmm. But Prime Diesel is the new album out. Thank you guys so much, Simeon, Race, Rashid Ali for joining us here on this Friday night and going into overtime with me. I think it's a great conversation. I love talking with you guys, and I can't wait to see you guys back in person whenever that is. Yeah. So please protect your health so that we can meet again in the future.
Thanks. You too, man.
My brother. Appreciate you.
Peace. Yes, indeed.
All right, we're going to close the show. Thank you, guys. We can.
Yep.
Twitch. Follow me on the social medias at Weekend Gabe. We'll do it again next Tuesday right here. And have a great weekend. All right.